Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by Rudy, the Black Widow Levocz. How's it going, sir?
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you for having me today.
So you are a good friend of Tomahawk. I was like, I don't really have time, and Tomahawk says you got to talk to this guy. I got to get him on your show. So
That's
like
awesome.
Tomahawk's a good friend. Got you on.
Hey, that's a brother. That's what it's supposed to do, right? Is look out for your brother, especially little brothers. And he's definitely trying to put me in the right direction. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on here too, man.
You betcha. So you look a lot like Tomahawk, and you're covered with tattoos. You're kind of a scary looking guy. Are you a sweetheart like Tomahawk?
Man, I got a big heart, and I definitely say that. I don't know necessarily we look alike. I'm the better looking one, but
Okay.
no, I definitely have a big heart, man, and I could be a sweetheart at times for sure. But hey, just like anybody, get on my bad side. Then it's time to go to war, like this Friday, right?
Right. Okay, so you are coming from an MMA background, and this will be your debut in BKFC, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like what made you? I mean, was it the fact that Tomahawk does BKFC, or like it was when BKFC started to gain traction? Is that something you're like, oh, I really want to try this, or
Man, I think the world of BKFC, super exciting promotion. Uh, Obviously, I love competing and love fighting. The MMA is great, but with MMA, there's so much different things with the wrestling, the Muay Thai, the
absolutely?
stand up. You got to dedicate yourself to so many different martial arts. And where I'm at in my life currently, I consider myself a striker. Let me go ahead and lean towards the best option for me. Because eventually one day, if I'm MMA fighting, I'm gonna fight this wrestler who's been wrestling for 10, 15 years, and he's just gonna
Absolutely.
bring a whole different game that I'm just not that used to. So I was like, you know what? Even the playing fields, focus on one thing, grow as much as I can with one thing. Obviously, Tomahawk playing a huge part in that because if you want to go somewhere, often you was travel a road that's been followed before. So he's
Sure.
kind of leading this way for me, man. Has opened so many doors and been a great coach. And we're gonna see what we can do with this thing, man. Make some noise and put my last name somewhere.
Okay, so will this be your? I know this fight's gloved. Are you looking to go professional in BKFC or?
100%, 100%.
Okay.
Me and Nelson spoke about it, and where I'm at, you have to have a certain amount of fights to become a professional. I'm almost there. I've had 4, and I think you need 5.
Okay.
So it gives me a good chance to be a part of the promotion, get that feel for it, show them what I can bring to the table, give me a little bit more experience before I step to that next level of being a professional. Because right now, with each of these last camps over the past 2 years, man, I've gotten better at things along the way, not just fighting, but building my brand, eating better, sleeping better, taking better care of myself, all these things that you require to become a professional. Once you get there, I don't want to be one of those guys that half-asses anything. So yeah, those building blocks, and then get me ready, and then the next steps at BKFC, 100%. That's where I want to be.
I think the prospect is so great because, like, for me, like, I love being invested in you guys. I love like finding out about you and seeing you grow. And it's one thing when you have like a big Mike Perry and he comes in and swoops in, but I mean, like, I love seeing the building blocks. Like, you guys on the prospects series are the future of BKFC, and I think it's great that we get to see you guys grow and improve. And I think it's just brilliant marketing by BKFC.
Man, for sure, 100%. And so this will be my first time fighting for the BKFC prospects, but I
Okay,
think I've literally been to like 5 or 6 of these things, and I've learned so much, but I've seen exactly what you're talking about, and especially a lot of these kids younger than me who are doing the prospects, gives them that chance just to get that good feel for it, build them up. Like you said, have people invest into them. Like as far as, hey man, I've watched this kid come from here, and now look at him. Now he's fighting in front of 5, 10,000 people, and I saw him when it was 500 people here or something like that.
absolutely.
So it's definitely awesome, and I understand that 100%. And that's a great thing that BKFC is doing because it gets you a little bit more emotionally attached to those people. It's not just sometimes I'll put on like a PFL or one, and I don't really know anything about those guys. So
Mm-hmm.
it's cool because you watch them as high level, but when you know that person or when you follow that person, for sure you're invested. You're like, man, that's me in there with me. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how it is. Become a fan of everybody.
Absolutely. Okay, so have you always been athletic, or like, did you always kind of go the martial arts route, or did you play other sports?
I think when I was a kid, I did like karate or something, but yeah, it wasn't for me at that age when I was really young. I was actually a baseball player, so my dad put me heavy on baseball, 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 everything. Even when I was in high school, I played all sports, but eventually those coaches told me, "Hey, man, just focus on baseball." Always been athletic, always loved competing. My father instilled that into me: be the best that you can be at whatever you do. And I love athletics, so man, I'm at this point in my life where, like, I guess baseball's out the window, some of these other sports are out the window, and it's like, hey, you know what? I got this great opportunity with fighting. Let's go ahead, let's chase this and ride this thing to the end and give it all I got one last time.
Okay, so your nickname is the Black Widow. How'd you get that? Who gave that to you?
Honestly, just from the gym. I
Okay.
always joke around, but I feel like I bring good energy to the gym, and when I was doing a lot of jujitsu, man, always talking shit, being like, "Hey, man, I'm like a spider on you," or something like that. Like, once you get
Right?
me on top of you, it's hard to get me off. Just constant shit like that,
Okay.
and then just to get the nickname, and I enjoyed it. I'm not like a big fan of spiders or anything like that, you know. But as far as I love the nickname, I think it fits me well, fits my style well, and yeah, it came from jujitsu, but I definitely stuck well. And who knows, maybe I'll have another name along the way. But for right now, it's Black Widow.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. So I mean, so fighting on the Tampa card is the female Jessica Morgan, and she's the Black Widow too. So you guys might have to have a showdown and see who gets to keep the nickname the Black Widow after that. You know,
Well, with the Black Widow, it's like the female is actually the killer one, and
the dangerous one,
yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
for me, it's more like I'm looking for, I think, my Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? But I'll have to tune into that fight for sure. I didn't know that that was her nickname, and
Yeah.
since that one's over in Tampa, I might actually be over there as well too. So who knows? Maybe I get to meet her as well. You know.
It's the one thing I'm jealous of you guys in Florida. Like, I don't care for your weather. I mean, it's too hot down there for me. But you guys get to have all these great fights and go to all these amazing cards.
Man, great fights today too for big fight day today and
Yeah.
next week, and man, for sure. Like Florida's got so much between Orlando, Tampa, Miami. It's definitely awesome, and all these BKFC events that are coming out here,
Yeah.
so great for us. Definitely like one day want to travel outside of Florida to fight, you know, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for the BKFC. That's the plan. So they're going everywhere.
Yep.
Other continents and everything. So again, there's not a lot of promotions that are like that doing that big of stuff, and that's awesome.
It is kind of crazy because yesterday I did an interview with the CEO of Bulgaria, and then I was talking to a fighter from Russia. Now I'm talking to you. Like it's crazy. All these locations, and I got an interview with a dude from
Yeah.
the UK later. It's nuts how it's blowing up.
Man, shout out to my sister. She actually lives over in Russia, and I've
Okay.
been trying to get at her. I'm like, hey man, get me on some kind of fight card over there. Let me fly over there and fight because I'm 100% about it. But
Yeah.
shit, who knows? Maybe eventually God is great, and maybe some way it leads the way, and then BKFC lands over there somewhere, and then she could come in to see me. Fight over there.
Okay, so what's your goal with the BKFC? Like, what do you want to do after the BKFC? What do you hope to like obtain in the BKFC?
To obtain, man, I want to make my family proud. Put my last name somewhere that matters to me. That's always
Sure.
been one of my goals in life. Again, just for family. And when I leave, I want to have my own gym. I love athletics. I love helping people. I love coaching people and just helping other people reach their goals. I want to open my own gym one day, preferably a martial arts gym, and that's the goal right now. And then I'll be a happy man.
So would you I mean MMA or like kind of predominantly striking or like what kind of gym?
I'm I'm only a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be teaching any jiu-jitsu, but again, obviously I got a lot of my life left, and when I get to that point in life, maybe I'll dedicate more time to other martial arts. But
Okay.
for then, just being able to teach, like right now, I'm building my resume, being able to teach what I know, what I've learned,
Sure.
mostly striking. But hey, man, you know, possibilities or whatever, and then I hire someone or something like that, or someone come in and then work or partner with me, and they do the jujitsu. That way, we can do everything because,
Yeah, exactly.
man, martial arts is growing so much, and obviously you're such like a fan of it and everything. You see that, and then you understand like there's so many opportunities now than like 10 years ago. Man, there's different promotions, different everything, and it's so great. It gives opportunity for people in so many different ways.
Okay, so you were telling me that you took like a 10-year break. Like what happened? Like life, you got burnt out. I mean, I've talked to quite a few fighters that said they got burnt out and they wanted a little bit of a break. That wasn't your case?
I had fought like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Was training for a little bit. Really, again, enjoyed it. Was one of those things like I wanted to check off in my life because at that time, 10 years ago, it wasn't as big as it is now, or
Sure.
wasn't like a career opportunity for so many people like it is now, because now you can go to so many different promotions and still, make a living. Back
Sure.
then it was like what, UFC, and
Right.
so I guess life just hit me, and I took the fight, got the win. I got a TKO win on my first win, and after that, just kind of I was doing security, working private security, all kind of stuff, and just time kind of allocated different directions, and I got a little busy, and then 10 years later passes by like that, and you're like, shit, running out of time to chase this dream. Let me give it one more shot and just give it everything I got.
Okay, so you're clearly looking to go for a KO. I mean, are you one of those guys that like I want to KO the guy as quick as possible, or you just want to get in there and kind of get some experience? Like, what's your plans?
I'm going for the finish, man. I'm an exciting fighter. When I come out there, I'm coming for the finish for sure.
I feel like it's one of those things. I mean, you saw Tomahawk's fight; he broke both of his hands. It's one of those things like you have to go for the finish right away because if you do kind of play it safe, then you run the risk of getting
Getting
hurting
hurt
your hand. Yeah,
for sure. And now actually, I think they shrunk the ring also, so it
yep.
cuts out that distance. So I mean, you're going to be, not only are you starting right across from the opponent, but once they say, "Hey, knuckle up, let's go," now it's shrunk. So you really got to stay in there and get ready to bang. And those short rounds, you can't waste time. It's an exciting sport for that reason.
What weight are you fighting at? What weight do you hope to compete at going forward?
185. 185 is where I want to be. Um, It'll be my first fight at 185. I feel
Okay,
great. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life right now. The last couple of guys that I fought have all been like heavyweights, 220s,
okay,
230s, and I had no problem with that. But just, man, I want to try and be the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
absolutely.
I have a lean build already, so I'm not carrying all these weight like I'm the natural heavyweight. Nah, I usually walk around like 220s.
Okay,
Been as high as shit 248, but now I'm on this. What I'm saying, cleaning up my diet, just becoming more professional, and I'm sitting right now this week about like 195 right now, so I'm right where I want to be. Everything's
yeah.
working out perfect, and if I can naturally be here, and eat well, take care of myself, then I just feel like I had the best chance here, for myself.
It's one of those things like I mean you hear all the time like oh I'm 220 and I cut down to 185 or I'm 210 and I cut down to 175 and it always worries me because like I hate like those crazy drastic weight cuts and then you got somebody like Jared Warren who walks around at 195 and cuts down to 185 and he's like it's easy I can do it he's like I don't want to do something hard on my body so I feel like it's definitely the smarter way to go by kind of being closer to your weight you want to fight at.
Especially being my first time, man. I haven't been 185 pounds since I was 20 years old. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? So fast
absolutely.
forward these years now. Now my coach is obviously, it's like, hey, are you going to suffer tremendously fight week? You know what I'm saying? Between cutting, all the things that you got to do to get there, or clean your shit up a little bit. That way
Yeah.
you're right there, and I could just change that in a day or some shit like that. And it's just like it's not brutal on my body. I'm not trying to do that to myself for sure.
Okay, so then my last question for we always ask: do you remember the first time you were in a street fight? The first time, like at school, or like you look like a guy who's been in a street fight before.
I mean, I've been in a lot of street fights before. And again, just being man, security for such a long time, bro. I'm such a, I feel like you said, man, sweetheart. I'm a nice guy. Always trying to avoid stuff like that. But
Sure,
just being a guy, maybe looking the way I look, tattoos, bigger guy, man. People always just, I don't know. I just feel like that's the guy that they want to fuck with. It's crazy because you feel like that's not the one
absolutely.
you don't want to. But sometimes when people get like a little alcohol in them or whatever, that's the direction it goes. And so I've definitely had my share of street fights. My first one, uh, man, I was definitely young, but I remember the one that stuck out the most. The
Okay,
one
let's
that
hear
stuck
that.
out the most was, I remember I was actually fighting for a friend of mine, just being me again. I was like, man, don't do this. Let me get this one. Uh, Ended up dropping the kid. Long story short, I should have been a little more ruthless because once he got to the ground, because again, it's a street fight, anything could happen. People
Sure.
are out there trying to hurt you. I let him get back up, and when I let him get back up, I ended up getting like kind of blindsided. There's a bunch of people there and everything too, and it ended up turning out to be a bad situation. But when I went home, I just remember specifically with my father, again, just the way he instilled and taught me about life. He's like, hey, listen, man, like, don't ever let that shit happen again. Part of my
Yeah.
language, but
No, you're good.
you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you represent this family. You represent yourself and protect yourself. And don't ever let that happen again. And he rolled my ass about that. And man, ever since then, I will work as hard as I can to do that, to at anything, to win, to finish. That's how I was raised, and man, it was embarrassing for myself, for my dad to look at me like that, just for me to be like, hey man, you lost this one,
Yeah.
because I walked home with the big black eye, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, it stuck in my head for the rest of my life, and don't ever want to feel that feeling again. Don't ever want to feel that feeling of losing, letting my family down, or just now you got to walk around with this fucking, hey, I took this one this time, and I know 100% that happens, but
Sure.
that's the fight game. But at the end of the day, you learn from those things, and one of those things I learned is, man, always, especially in fights, gotta be ruthless, man, because it can
Awesome.
change
Well,
your heartbeat.
absolutely. So I look forward to seeing you grow, and like I look forward to like watching this journey you and Tomahawk takes you down, and like
Yes,
it's
sir.
exciting. I can't wait. If people want to follow you, is Instagram, Facebook? Where's the best place to get a hold of you?
Best place is going to be on Instagram. It's going to be Black Widow Rue. So Black Widow like the spider, ROO. And
Okay.
I'm more active on there than anything. I do have Facebook, but just follow me on Instagram. Or
Sure.
again, I'm sure you'll be seeing me on the BKFC prospects. Man, I'm going to come out there. I'm gonna put on a show. I'm going to go for the finish. I'm going to get that shit done, and I'll be right back again. Hopefully here real soon afterwards too.
Great.
Fingers crossed is what they're saying.
For sure. All right. Thanks so much, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, man. Let's go.